Hello and welcome back to Dicebreaker, where we have an incredibly special video for you today because we are playing Cyberpunk Red with Cody Pondsmith. That's not a sentence I ever thought I was going to say in my life, and yet here we are, and it's on video, so nobody can prove it didn't happen. Cody, thank you so much for joining us, first and foremost.
I'm really excited.
How many of us are you planning to kill in this session? Just off the top of your head?
Probably all of you if I can get away with it.
Okay, perfect. Good. Just wanted to...
You can absolutely get away with it.
Just wanted to make that clear. So I guess we should sort of just say what characters we're playing as, and then we can jump straight in.
Well,
Editor-in-Chief Matt Jarvis, do you want to start?
I will start. So I'm Red Eye. I'm a netrunner. So I'm basically an awesome hacker. But I hack with my brain. So if things go really badly, my brain kind of explodes and I die, I think is generally
You've got
the
it,
gist,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So I will be able to kind of hack into systems and take control of things, but I'll have to deal with what's called black ice on the way, which is going to mess me up if I roll really poorly, which knowing how I roll, it's probably going to happen.
To be honest, man, knowing you, I am just sort of waiting for the day that your brain explodes.
It's a great thing to hear from your team. You know?
Cool. Well, I'm 40. I'm a rocker boy, and I'm really cool. I can influence people with music and things. I'm quite new to this, so I don't really know what this means entirely, but I'm excited to find out.
I'm sure you're going to push the buttons ably.
It's worth saying that cool is actually a stat in this as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
This is true.
I am Mover. I am a solo, which means I have a lot of terrifying things to kill people with. I saw action in the Fourth Corporate War. Not all of me made it back, which is why I have a cyber arm with rippers, cyber legs, cyber optics. Basically, all I am at this point is a torso with metal bits attached. And yeah, if you want something killed, I'm your guy, basically.
I've always thought that about you.
Thank you.
In that vein, if you want something fixed, then I'm your guy, because I am Torch the Tech. And the quote is, you can't leave anything alone. If it sits near you for more than 5 minutes, you've disassembled it and made it into something new. I'm going to be basically what we just tried to do with our tech setup for this shoot is I'm going to be retrofitting scrap materials into some kind of weapon or some kind of MacGyver machine. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
And Cody, of course, you'll be literally everyone else in the world.
Yep.
Great, so over to you, I guess.
Excellent. So, I always like to start out with sort of a little bit of setup. The four of you are what's generally referred to as edge runners. You are people who get things done, often without asking a lot of questions. If somebody needs to be killed, if something needs to be retrieved, if something needs to be stolen, you can find an edge runner to do it. Edge runners range in morality and capability, but they are all kind of living under the creed of they do what they need to survive and thrive. To that end, the four of you have another bond that has brought you together, which is that you all live in an apartment.
Together?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You all live in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment on the outskirts of what's called the combat zone. The combat zone is sort of a demilitarized section of Night City, which is kind of in a constant state of combat. It has been mostly taken over by gangs. The police will only go there rarely, and usually if you are wandering around on the streets of Night City, you don't have somewhere to go back to, you usually wind up in the combat zone. Your apartment building, as shitty as it is on the very edge of the combat zone, and with the four of you living together, you are managing to make rent and keep yourselves out of the combat zone. You've been living like this for a while, and it suits your needs fairly well. I don't know whether any of you like each other, but you know one thing. None of you can backstab the other because you all need to pay rent.
That is so elegant. I love it.
Very true to life.
Each of you does something in Night City. Torch, as a tech, you spend a lot of time basically going out and fixing up, especially people's cyberware. You fix up people's vehicles, you know, all sorts of various technical things that have broken down. In the world of the Red, it is a lot more difficult to just sort of go down to a corner store and get certain things. The already sort of difficult sort of economy of Night City has been made even more difficult by the aftermath of the Fourth Corporate War, which wrecked all the transportation throughout most of the world. So think of yourself as sort of like the neighborhood handyman, except every once in a while people do drive by and attempt to shoot at you and or mug you for your cyberware.
I mean, I am from Luton, so I feel like I'm already in that world.
Luton is the UK's equivalent of the combat zone.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Johnny, you are a solo. You are a professional killer and have been for a very long time. You can decide exactly how moral you are about it, but if someone needs to die or someone needs to be kept alive, you are the person to talk to. Mostly your jobs are basic hits, often on gang members. If you take it, also on the police, but it's up to you. Or just, you know, somebody who doesn't particularly like their cousin. Things like that.
Killadini.
It's me. Sorry.
So did you want to tell us about his character in the game? Also,
Oh,
or-
very good. Sorry about us.
Oh, it's perfect. As for you are a rocker boy. You are you're sort of a charismatic leader of people. You make music to sort of promote some message. It can be entirely up to you what that is. It can be beneficial to the society. It can be harmful to the society. It can be entirely self-centered. It's entirely up to you what you want to say through your music. But you are at the level where you do basic small gigs kind of around Night City. You've never played any of the corporate zones, but you know most people don't. And you've amassed a fairly nice following of fans who, most of them are fine, some of them you avoid, some of them you may have had to kill when they attempted to kidnap you. But, you know, that's just the life of a celebrity.
I know all about it.
As Red-Eye, you are honestly a bit of an enigma. You are a net runner. Net running is inherently extremely dangerous. You have to apply a lot of cyberware to become a net runner. And once you become a net runner, you are going to a place where physical armor cannot save you. You are going to a place where if you slip up, you will wind up brain burned and dead, you know, somewhere in some alley somewhere trying to, I don't know, hack into a bank or something. Often, netrunners wind up as sort of cyber criminals and thieves, often breaking into corporate security cyber vaults and stealing information to then sell to other people or the like. But some people just do it for the thrill of it. So I'll leave it up to you as to how you feel about that.
Definitely for the thrill. Definitely.
That's you up and down.
So, the four of you have been, as I said, living in this apartment for a while. And you survive on jobs. You survive on talking to your local fixers, the people who make contacts, who get you jobs, who get you gear, ammunition, all that stuff, to kind of find people who need things done. Your fixer, Grease, all edge runners usually use what's called a handle, which is your nickname. Especially when the net was not destroyed, it sort of became almost a tradition out of necessity. You don't want anyone to know your real name. That can be extremely dangerous. So most of you work with handles. Your fixer Grease is good. He's gotten you a lot of contracts across the city, and you've really never really had a tremendous reason to argue. Recently, he scored a contract with one of the sort of more influential fixers in the region, a fixer by the name of Hornet, who needs something acquired. Grease says it's a good job. It's obviously not safe, but Hornet hasn't been specific as to exactly how dangerous it is or even really what he needs acquired. But rent is coming up and you need the money. You've been told to go down to a local sort of nomad-run train station. Nomads in the time of the Red are the primary transporters of material. They are the only ones who are really able to guarantee that your shipments or you will make it from Night City to any of the other sort of disparate sections of the U.S. You know, the Pacifica Confed in the northwest, or places few and far between in the Midwest. And that Hornet will meet you there and explain the job. There's good money in it. Now, how have you all decided to prepare? We'll go around the table. Torch?
Come on, Torch.
Do we know the actual specifics of...
You do not.
Okay, so we're kind of going in blind, and so any preparations I make could completely be in vain. All right. So I guess I've probably. I mean, I've always got 2 screwdrivers with me because one always gets lost. I reckon I've probably been reading up on the latest tech that's sort of like hot off the presses. Do you know what I mean? I've got like a stack of magazines. It's like PC Gamer or whatever, but like
print media still
yeah,
exists.
Exactly,
in the far-flung
exactly
future
that.
of Cyberpunk.
But they're all just made of lasers. That's the.
You've been looking stuff up on. All of you have agents.
Mm-hmm.
Agents are, in effect, smartphones.
Yeah.
They are pretty solidly useful, and the only way you can really get hooked up to what's called the data pool, which is sort of this micronet across the city. So you've been checking out some of the latest technical manuals on the data pool.
Maybe just keeping an eye out for anything that's sort of like fresh as well. Something that's making a big wave if we're on a strange job out of nowhere.
You actually are. One thing does catch your eye. You haven't really seen a lot of sort of new vehicular designs, but a number of people have been sort of making waves about a new cargo train that is sort of colloquially referred to as the Hammerhead. It's a long, extremely heavily armored train with this big sort of almost hammerhead shark-like head at the front, armed with very, very large cannons, which has been developed by Militech as sort of an attempt to build something that will be able to more easily rebuff the various raiders that kind of are on sort of just the outskirts of Night City. You can't get a lot of specs on it, but there are some in production, and you have at least an opportunity to kind of see it from the outside and get a basic look at it.
Okay, bookmarked that tab.
I feel like I've sort of been prepping as I sort of start every day. I've lovingly disassembled my assault rifle and cleaned it and reassembled it.
What have you named your assault rifle?
Lucille.
Lucille, got it.
I've obviously been checking that all of my
Sorry.
been checking that all of my cybernetics are sort of like in good shape. And is there anything I can find out about like our contact, like that Grease has put us in touch with?
You can attempt a local expert check about that.
Sure.
So you're going to roll 1d10 and add your local expert plus intelligence.
8. So that is maths. That's 15.
15. You are able to find some information about Hornet. The most you can figure out is that he is supposed to be somewhere in his middle to late 40s. He is a fixer who focuses primarily on pharmaceuticals, street drugs, and falsified identification papers and things like that.
Okay.
With 15, you are able to dig up some reference to him, sort of very vague reference to him in relation to the Fourth Corporate War, sort of in the background, doing some sales to both sides, of course, and also some vague concept that he may have had a hand in developing a number of fairly terrible bioweapons.
Okay.
Nothing perhaps on the level of Biotechnica or any of the large corporations, but some fairly nasty street drugs that turned out to be especially harmful when aerosoled.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I feel like I on finding out this information, disassemble, clean, and reassemble my assault rifle for a second time.
Okay.
40.
I have written a song. And weirdly
In or out
enough,
of the game?
weirdly enough, it's about how much, how badass biochemical weapons are.
Wow.
Just so happens. That's pretty much what I've been working on for a while.
Can I get you to transcribe this after this?
I can't wait for the album.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Okay.
That's pretty much what I've been working on. Wow. Takes a while, write a song.
All right. Red Eye?
So we've kind of got a lead of train, right, potentially, and lead of Hornet's bioweapons. Can I look into the train's servers and see if there's any kind of notable shipments happening, like some out of the ordinary or any kind of files that have been hidden away?
This is the primary problem with net running in the time of the Red. If this were in 2020, you could go into the what we now refer to as the old net and net run over to them and find it. To do that, you're going to have to break into the local train station.
Right. Okay. In that case, I just make sure all my patches are up to date and everything's installed, and I've restarted my computer.
You've done a quick search on Avast.
Okay.
Excellent. So you all prepare, and the evening comes, and you make your way down to this sort of nomad run train station at the edge of Night City. There are quite a number of people there kind of milling about. You see a number of people that you kind of vaguely half recognize as members of some of the night markets that you've been to. Night markets are these, they're where you find your best goods. They're these sort of almost street market setups that are called night markets because they're set up in the night and are torn down in the morning, usually because they're selling highly illegal items. The train is there, and you see two guys kind of standing outside, both of them dressed in relatively dressed down clothing. You might not necessarily think much of them, except they are both kind of standing at either end of the door to this train. So, who wants to do what?
Can I, first of all, scan for local networks? Are we within range yet? Or do I know that I need to be closer?
You can scan for local networks.
Okay.
So that is going to be an interface roll. Just roll and add your interface.
Okay.
Matt switches on his Bluetooth.
So 7, 7, 14.
14. You know that the train you are about to get on has a local net that you could jack into. That a little further back in this sort of makeshift train station, there's a local net that probably runs all of the timing and whatnot. And there are some local nets basically on probably some people's agents in the crowd. You know.
Okay.
If you wanted to hack in the train station, you would have to deviate a bit and probably sneak into the actual sort of control room.
Okay, well. Okay, in that case, so I can access the local network of the train.
If you get on the
say.
train
Okay.
and find, you
Right.
know basically where the port is.
Okay.
You have to get to that port.
Okay, great. In that case, I'll let you guys lead the way.
Where are we headed again?
Okay, I feel I'm going to step forward and just kind of like be like, hello, I'm the muscle. I want to sort of just, I'll walk up until I'm about 6 foot away from one of the guys and then just sort of stop and...
The guy looks you over, and he says, "You mover?"
Yeah, I'm mover.
All right. He reaches over and he presses a panel on the train, and the door slides open. Inside, you see a sort of average train car, nothing particularly fancy.
Okay, I'm gonna turn just like to the others and just step straight on in.
Cool.
I'm gonna follow.
see ya.
Following in, yeah.
I'm guessing that if we try and follow, they're probably not going to be cool with that, right? If we kind of step forward,
You're
how
all
do
here
they
for
react?
the job.
I'm following.
Oh, okay, right.
Should we leave someone outside?
I mean, I need to be in the train
Yeah.
to access it.
If
so
we're on a train, we're in a pretty enclosed space. If this is some kind of setup,
yeah.
that's all.
Are you saying this in world, or are you just having a conversation? Like, are you having a conversation about hacking a train in front of them?
Well, you walked up to them. We're still.
Yeah, we're kind
okay.
of nudging each other in the back, like. Well, I need to be in it. So,
Right,
well,
you getting
unless
on the
there's
train or
another way
what?
onto the train and we break up into two groups.
I.
Sorry.
Never split the party. I know.
We split the party,
No.
but wait till you're on the job.
As Mover walks into the train, the guard looks at the three of you.
I'm getting on the train.
Sheep.
You're still composing your song in the background. You brought along your...
I'm like, ding, 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 ding. Like, no, that's wrong. Just like tuning my guitar.
Which you bring everywhere.
Yeah, I do actually.
Sick.
Thank you.
All right. I'm coming.
You get on the train. Red Eye?
Begrudgingly.
Okay, so if I scan again now, Can I kind of work out roughly where I need to go to access?
Yeah, you come into basically a train car. Goes down in both directions. You see a woman at the end of the hall for the train car on your right, who smiles politely and says, "Please, right this way." And she opens the door. You need to go that way, as
Okay.
far as you can tell.
I walk through the door? No, I'm going.
Yeah, we're coming in.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right,
All
I'm
seems
all
perfectly
like,
pleasant.
yeah.
you move through. And you come to a section of the hallway where the woman stops and gestures to a door off to the right. You do need to keep going though.
I mean, I'm just gonna just keep. I'm just like, I need to find this port. So you can do whatever you want. I'm off.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Are you being stealthy about this, or are you just gonna?
Are they looking at me with any suspicion yet, or
Yes.
do I need to start getting stealthy?
Just start whistling.
You are to set the scene. You are in a train car. The woman is directly in front of you.
You have to like push her out.
You could feasibly try to move by her while they're moving in. You could roll stealth for that.
I feel like, could I help by just being like, oh, after you? And then just sort of saying, no, you go into the train car and we'll follow you. And then he's just sort of slipping behind me, or she, rather.
I will allow that.
Okay, cool.
So what you can do is you can make I believe, a persuasion roll.
I'm not very good at that, so let's give it a go.
That is a 10. Roll
Ooh,
again.
wow.
Roll it again.
So that's a 17, but plus...
Oh!
Die down.
This better be
This
a
is
bloody
going
good roll.
so well already.
It's a 10.
Roll
It's
again.
exploding.
Plus a 7. So that's 27 plus 7
34.
is 34.
Wow.
I'm not even very cool.
You summon up all the charisma in your body, and you make a sweeping gesture, and she is surprised. She actually blushes a little.
Oh.
She says, "Thank you," and she kind of moves into the car ahead of you. You're still gonna have to make a stealth roll,
Okay,
but it's
yeah.
not gonna be as hard now.
All right.
Wow.
So, what am I rolling on for stealth?
You were gonna be rolling plus stealth.
Oh, I've got stealth right.
Yeah.
That always helps. So I've got, that's a 6. And then my stealth is 13. I think Dex plus 6 for
Yep.
stealth. Right. So 6 plus 13, 19.
You managed to slip down the train car, moving down towards another door, moving into a further compartment. In the meantime,
If Mover has seen any of this, he pretends not to, and it's just like, I cannot believe this is happening already. Moves straight in.
you move in and you come into a very nice, what appears to be sort of private room in the car. Immediately, you see what appears to be a nice desk laid out with some sort of almost generalized office toys. There's one of those perpetual motion balls, you know. There's
The dipping bird.
yeah. There's a window out into the sort of almost like sort of desert behind as it moves out of the city. And sitting at the desk is the man you presume to be Hornet. He looks roughly as you had figured, somewhere in his 40s. Actually, not a lot of probably fashion wear to augment that. He's wearing nice but not very corporate clothing, and he's kind of leaning back in a chair behind the desk. You see, with he has one basically cyber arm on his right arm, which is this sort of alternating pattern of gold and black chrome plates. And he is currently spinning a pen in the fingers of it. Behind him is another man, large, solidly built, and wearing primarily black tactical gear. He has a monokatana handle coming up from his back, and his face is covered by a black tactical mask.
Okay.
He's very, very obviously a solo.
Okay.
And there are 4 chairs in front of the desk.
Yup.
I think instead of like fully coming into the room, I'm just sort of going to prop myself like shoulder up against the door, like sort of just kind of working off of the suave nature that I've been feeling after that gesture. I'm just sort of like just chilling out. It's like, it's alright, we don't need to sit down. Don't worry about it. Trying to make
I stride right in.
yeah, I'm trying to make the
Chair
atmosphere
right
a
in
bit
front
more
of
casual.
Hornet, like.
I'm nervously I'm behind you. I'm trying to be.
No,
as-
wait,
You're
down
not.
the hall.
You're down the hallway.
Get out of here!
You
We're
made
gonna-
your bed. You hacked something in it.
We're gonna deal with that later.
I feel like I'm going to sort of just like tip a little nod to the solo, be like, you know, game recognizes game, and then just be like, well, I'm assuming you're Hornet, may I? And sort of like I nod to the chair.
He gestures with his cyberarm.
I just sort of sit, like rakishly.
He looks. He kind of scans over the 3 of you and says, "Really?" He gestures to the empty chair.
Well, there's more than one empty chair.
He says, 4 people came in, right? He says to the woman at the door, he says, and she immediately moves out in the hallway. About the time you are moving through the door on the far side. So you like your friend? He looks to you.
Well, we got on fine. I mean, I assume she's off trying to hack your train, so we don't always see eye to eye.
He looks back to the solo behind him. Says, "Snake, leave her alive." And the guy moves from behind him through the door. Are you going to stop him?
Has he got any cyber gear?
It's hard to tell. He's covered from head to toe. You imagine he probably does. Most solos have some amount of cyberware.
Can I say something along the lines of, that looks a little bit broken up, actually. Do you want me to have a look at that? You don't want to go grab a rogue element of a party with a dodgy arm.
Rogue element.
You
guy-
describe what Matt's doing.
The
apart from
guy
being a
walks
rogue
by
element.
you, and Hornet says, "You motherfuckers have never dealt with a fixer, have you?"
Well, I mean,
Technically, no.
we know.
Okay, listen. Bring your friend back. Snake will keep her in one piece. Despite this, I'm going to trust you because your fixer says you're good for it. He says, "I have a bit of a situation that I can't really afford to deal with right now, and the 4 of you should deal with it fine." He sets his agent on the table, and you see a hologram of the Hammerhead train come up. He says, "A few days ago, one of my shipments got jacked by some corpo somewhere. I don't exactly know who yet, but I'm in the process of finding out. I've got a lot of agents in a lot of places. I can't afford to spare anybody for this, but I'm gonna get that shipment back one way or the other. And you unfortunate sons of bitches are the one way or another. Meanwhile, you have snuck down the train. I want you to roll stealth.
Okay. 13 plus 5, 18.
You are stealthing down the train. You make it into what appears to be a not a control cabin, but what appears to be sort of like a stewardess cabin.
Okay.
And you do find a port.
Do I have an idea of... I'm guessing that the guy's now moving along the train to come and collect me.
You have no idea.
Okay, right. The door's shut. I just don't know.
Yep.
No line of communication. I mean, I'm in it for the thrill. So
That's it.
Am I alone in this room?
You are alone in this room.
We've got some kind of like communication that I could warn him with.
I mean, you've got an agent, but to do that, you're gonna have to pull out the agent and talk into it.
In front
I
of.
can't.
In front
I
of.
can't
all
like
that.
SMS. I reckon I can absolutely text without looking at the screen.
You could. You're gonna have to make a stealth roll about it.
I don't have stealth on this grid.
That means you can roll, but all you're getting is your dexterity modifier.
That's good. Okay.
Oh, good. He's doing it anyway.
No, I'm thinking.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No.
I'm thinking I could do something.
Do we know the difficulty value of this?
The DV for this situation is against a person, so you do not.
Okay.
If you were doing a thing, you would know. If you're against a person, you don't necessarily.
Is there, considering that I know about this train already?
Yeah.
I feel like
You know about the train that he is hiring you to go rob, in effect.
so. Can
This
I sort
train
of,
is
like,
more standard.
Can I kind of like lean in? Yeah, sorry, not the train we're in, but the train that's on the hologram.
Yeah.
Can I sort of lean in and be like, hold on, you want us to go on this train and start like listing off some of the details and like sort of grab his attention whilst my hand is just like using my my own distraction.
I'll
if
let
you
you
will.
roll conversation or persuasion for this. Let's see how this goes.
That's incredibly generous of you. Thank you.
I'm just like SOS. That is
That's-
a 10.
Wow. Rolling
Most
hot.
persuasive man.
And that is a 9.
That's
No,
a
it's a
6.
Okay, so that's 23.
So you're like leaning over and you're starting to rattle off everything you can think of about this train.
I
And
did bookmark it.
He did, to be fair.
for a moment, you've got a Times Square marquee in your eye that's just reading off facts.
Yeah.
For a moment, he's actually kind of impressed that you've done your research on this, and kind of impressed that you figured out what train it was going to be. Are you guys doing anything?
No. I'm just sat there like,
Not again.
No, I was going to do something, but it doesn't work with what you're doing. So
Okay, that's fine.
I'll just watch.
As you're sitting there, there's the shh, shh, and the train starts moving, pulling out of the station. You got around. What do you want to do?
I mean,
You are in the stewardess car.
the port's there, right?
Yep.
So have I managed to text?
Yes, you did. So
So
What's
you
the
are,
message I get?
you're about to jack in when you get.
You're running out of time.
That doesn't say you're out of time, so I'm going in.
To be
Yay!
fair, no, it did not. No.
Yes. Red eye.
Okay, so you jack in. You basically you pull out your interface plugs and you jack into this little like stewardess port, and the framework of the net kind of appears in your vision. All right, so that is a net action. You have 3 net actions. You are on the first level, which appears to be a password. You can try to go through that, or you could use Pathfinder to try and figure out what is in this network.
Yeah, I'll use Pathfinder
Okay.
to find out exactly if there's any benefit in me going deeper.
So roll plus interface.
Okay. So my interface is +7, and I rolled a 5.
Okay. Interface, because it's a class ability, functions on a smaller scale. So actually, that's pretty solid.
Okay.
You see down through the password. You can only go through the passwords that you rolled better than. So you see down through the password, and you see that directly after this password is a hellhound. And directly after that is another password. And directly after that is what would appear to be a anti-program black ice called a dragon. It's a large sort of silvery dragon creature that destroys your programs. And after that is another password that you can't see past.
Okay.
And also about this time, you are going to roll perception.
This is a serious train.
Is 12. Oh, I rolled a 1.
Roll again.
4.
Now subtract that from your base.
So
that's
subtract from
beautiful.
persuasion.
No, it's from your awareness.
Perception.
It's perception, yeah.
Mm.
I believe.
Sorry, what am I taking
Perception
from?
there.
Oh,
The
perception.
skill, not the.
The skill. I've got perception here.
No, it's persuasion.
Persuasion. Oh, yeah. Sorry. So 9 minus 4.
Yep.
5.
All right. Now you have an option to attempt to dodge, even though you have been caught off guard. So I'd like you to, if you want, roll dodge. Otherwise, you could not choose. You choose not to. Or actually, it's athletics technically.
Athletics.
Yeah.
I'll roll for it. I mean, I might as well give myself a chance. Okay. So 9, 7.
Oh.
So you are looking down into the structure of this network, and you suddenly feel an arm close around you. And you are starting to be dragged back away from the stewardess port. Quick note, this might be important later. At any point, you can choose to jack out of a network. However, if you are forcibly removed from a network, or you leave the area where your interface cables can go to, you are pushed out of the network. And if you were sliding through the network, sneaking by all of the threats that you snuck by attack you at once. Luckily, you did not go down into this network.
Wow.
In the meantime,
This isn't the bathroom.
in the meantime, Hornet says, "We're going to be catching up to the train pretty soon. Now, you're not going to be able to get onto it any standard way, but there's a hatch up in the roof you should be able to get into. My cargo is about three cars up from the back where you should be able to get in. Now, I haven't been able to get a lot of intel on what's in those cars, but you're big boys and girls, I'm sure you can handle it. Any questions?"
No, sir.
You really are a rebel rocker, aren't you? No,
We
sir.
don't know what the cargo is yet, do we?
No.
It is a shipment.
Okay. Can we ask?
Well, you can't.
You
not
can't.
here.
You're being
Sorry, I'm being
strangled.
dragged.
Get out of
Is
here.
is the train moving? The one that we're trying to get on?
He nods.
So we're gonna have to jump across, presumably. You got a best place to do that from?
He says, down at the end of this car, there's a ladder to the roof. He hits a few buttons on the agent, and another hologram pops up. It's a case. Looks like it's about that big. It is rather innocuously not marked with anything other than in one corner of the case there is a small symbol that looks like a, of all things, hornet. There are, however, big, heavy locks on the case.
Do I recognize the locks?
I mean, I'll let you roll local expert or maybe basic tech.
I think I'll do basic tech because I get plus 17.
Whoa.
Local expert will tell you sort of what it's used for.
Mm-hmm.
Basic tech will tell you what it does,
The lock.
what the box is made for.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll do tech. It's
Okay.
quite safe. That's 8 plus 17.
All right. This is a medical containment and cargo chest. It's basically designed to keep usually vials of various medical solutions at a stable temperature and keep them from shattering.
I've got one more question on it. We know what you do.
Yeah.
We know what's probably in that thing. Are we in any danger apart from what's going to be protecting this thing?
You don't open the case, you're not in danger.
And if the case opens outside of our control?
Well, then we're fucked.
You got nasal filters?
Obviously. No.
Just try to hold your breath.
Okay. All right then.
Sorry.
No,
Okay.
over to you, bud.
I sort of look up and go, how wet are we going to get and how much are we going to get paid?
He's got a flair for the dramatic. He reaches under the table and pulls up a briefcase and sets it on the table, clicking open the clasps. Are you fighting this solo as you're being dragged down the train?
Are they? They're just kind of dragging me, right? They're
Yep.
not. Can I just have a chat with them? Because I figure,
Go ahead.
I've been caught in the wrong here. I know that, and I'm just like, can't you just let me pop back? Just give me a little.
It's
give me
just a taste.
Yeah,
Just a crumb of tech.
and I'm just like, hey, just let me go. Like, you got me. All right, just let me go back to my friends. Let me find a network I can go into. I just want to find something. Like, if you're gonna ruin my fun, like, I'll go find something else. It's fine.
As he's dragging you, he says, "There'll be plenty on the other train."
Oh.
Okay. Can I ask them if, you might not know, but can I say, what can I expect? What can I look forward to?
Like a junkie.
Have you any Portugal Jarvis?
Think of it as a surprise. About this point, he is being hauled back to the door as Hornet opens this case to reveal what is probably about 5,000 EB, which is good pay. Immediately, as a solo, 5,000 EB for a four-man job is also a very dangerous job.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
Great. He shuts the case. You are dragged back into the room.
All right.
Hey, how's it going? I was just,
Didn't work out then, huh?
I just wanted to look around. You know how it goes.
I given the short of it. Of
All right.
what we've been told.
I'm rolling my eyes big time.
6 minutes.
Bad news, Red Eye, the pay's great.
Can I ask Hornet, because I'm now back in the room with Hornet.
Yeah.
Can I just ask if there's anything I should know in particular? Will we need to hack through anything to get to the cargo? Are there any security systems that we need to work through the network to disable or avoid?
I'm sure there's a system on the train, much like the system on my train.
I wouldn't know anything about that. Nice dragon, by the way.
What colour were his eyes?
Emerald.
Oh, never mind then.
Blue.
How the fuck do you keep this one alive?
Weirdly, sometimes she keeps us alive.
My part is an overabundance of patience.
All right, no more time. He gestures to the door.
I'm up. Let's do it.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm jacked up. I'm ready to roll.
You You move over down the car and find this this ladder that goes up to the roof. As you crack this hatch on top of the train, you pull yourself up. Wind is whipping past you. The sun is bearing down. The sun is just starting to go down, and the light comes across this sort of wasteland outside of Night City, with this sort of eerie red pallor that all of you are kind of used to at this point. All of the aftermath of the various horrible things that have happened to the world, especially around Night City. Nuclear explosions, rocks dropping from orbital colonies, things like that. And indeed, you see that your train is currently pulling up alongside this big, heavily armored, very military-looking train.
Hell yeah.
Is it guarded on the outside?
It is not.
There's no actual personnel on the outside.
Towards the front of the train, at this big sort of hammerhead piece at the front, you do see turrets, but they are pointed forward and out. They are not currently pointed back.
Can I just like run and jump on it?
Yes, you can.
I'm gonna do
I was
that.
going to get some info first, but yeah, let's do it. Let's
40
go.
is all action.
Yeah, it's happening.
So this is going to be
Cool.
DV.
It will.
It will be cool. This is going to be DV12. You're basically going to be leaping across. You don't want to fail this. That's all I'll say.
Yep. I'd like to use my jump boosters in my cyber
Yes.
legs because I'm not made of wood. Part of me is made of metal. That's the wrong idiom.
So first, 40, why don't you give us that athletics check?
Athletics. Okay. Okay. Oh no, it's
Oh,
an 11.
Roll again.
Oh no.
That is actually a
7.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. You're all action, but you slip on the edge of the train. As your foot, you run in slow motion. Your foot majestically hits the edge of the train and just slips right off. Okay.
Oh wow.
Why did they hire us?
If it's all right, I'd like to try and boost jump over there and.
I'll let you. You basically trigger the boosters in your cyber legs, and you're gonna leap across and try to grab her.
Okay.
I want you to make a brawling check at a DC 14.
Okay, it's got to be a 4 on
Might
the roll.
wanna- Oh, there we go.
That's a 7.
So Mover runs over. There's a as you basically launch off the back of this train and grab you by like the scruff of your neck, and land on the other train, kind of with a thud.
I'm like, hey, you broke my guitar string.
I want to basically, like, having scruffed 40, I want to sort of spin her around like I'm holding up a toddler and then just go dunk.
I'm so annoyed about my broken guitar string.
You never thought you were in any danger.
No. I thought I was like, yeah.
I had this.
Yeah.
Who wants to go next?
See, I don't have
I
cyber
don't-
legs.
Yeah, me neither. Is there?
I didn't have cyber legs and I did just fine.
Yeah, it went great for you. So.
That one really did a lot for you.
What's the difficulty value of the jump again?
14.
12.
Oh, 12.
12.
It was 14 to grab her.
It's a 50-50.
Oh, sorry.
It's a 50-50 for me. Let's do it.
Oh, great, cool.
Yeah. No, it's better. No, because I need a 5 or more. And that's 10.
What? Ari? I gave you those dice. I can't even be upset.
What?
That's a 10!
No, this is ridiculous.
What the hell's going on? That's 3 10s in a row.
Roll again. This is how this works.
4.
No.
That's another...
One more time.
I'm genuinely...
This
I'm
can't-
putting as much spin into it as I physically can. Okay. That's a 6.
Wow.
46 plus athletics, right?
Yeah.
Plus 7.
Yeah.
So that's 53.
Okay. So,
Someone in the comments, please.
would
do the
you
math.
like to just? Would
This is going to look so cool.
Would you like to describe this?
Okay, so what happens is I noticed this sort of like outcroppy bit on the roof of the train. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I could vault off of that, and it would look pretty sick. So I sort of like get a little running head start up. I sprint, vault off, and as I'm going through the air, I sort of like pirouette spin midair, and then land, punching my cyber arm through the metal of the cargo train.
You punch into, then you stand up and immediately say, "Did everyone see that? Because I can't do it again."
I'm just
Oh,
like
sorry,
looking at my broken guitar string, like.
Just
"Ugh."
one extra detail, if you'll permit me, is that I gave my cyber optic camera to Red Eye to film me whilst I was doing it.
No, come on, that's cyber optic is in your eye.
Yo, because it's GoPro anyway.
Oh, okay. All right, sick. Yeah.
All right.
I'll stabilize that footage later, and it's gonna look amazing.
Fucking hell.
You're up.
What are we like?
It's not going to be that impressive. Okay, I'm just going to try and jump it because I figure I'm not going to try anything special. I'm not the athletic, cyber-legged parkour person. I'm just going to...
Remember, you have to bring luck beforehand if you want to burn it, just so you know.
You need 3, right?
So it's athletics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I need a 12?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll use a luck.
All right.
Thank you. Okay. 3.
Oh!
So plus 9 is 12.
All right. You get a. 12. Okay. You get a. You get a running start, and you throw yourself across this gap, and you manage to grab onto the edge of the train as you like hit the other side. Kind of moving to pull yourself up. Anyone want to help with that?
Yeah, I think I'll.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
You pull. You pull her up, and you are now all on this this hammerhead train. Oh my god. Okay.
And I go, everyone saw that, right?
Okay. The train continues down that way.
So where's the? Oh yeah, like, can we try and find the hatch?
You do indeed spot a hatch right back here.
Okay. I guess I'd like to sort of go over and have a look, see if it looks like it's locked, whether I need to sort of brute force it, whether it'll just open.
It is locked.
Mm-hmm.
It looks a little difficult to brute force.
Okay.
But not too difficult to possibly...
You might be able to do something about
Yeah.
this. You move over, you pull out your bag of tech tools.
You're going to be insufferable for the rest of this mission. And I mean torch in this regard.
Something's going to go spectacularly wrong. I just know it.
Can I like hold my ear up against the train, the roof of the train, see if I can hear anything in there?
I'll let you roll an awareness check, or perception check. It's not necessarily going to be easy. I'm going to set this at, let's see. I'm going to set this at 15.
Okay, because I've got cyber audio, right? So
You
that
do have
adds
cyber
plus
audio.
1 to any sound related.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So that's, where am I? Perception. Okay. Ew, that's a 9. So I've got 19.
You put your ear up against the train, and at first you don't really hear anything. It's a thick hull. But your cyber audio switches on, and down below in the train, you hear one of your songs.
Ooh, good tune. Good taste in music.
You hear actually one of your more recent songs, and moments later you hear, "Would you shut that off? You've been playing it this entire time." And then a couple seconds later, "It's a long shift. We're going to the Pacifica Confed. I'm not just going to sit here in a fucking empty train and just listen to you complain about the war. This music is beautiful, and you just don't understand it.
All right, I tell the guys. Right, so it sounds like there's two people down there. One of them is an idiot, and the other one seems like a cool person. So we might be able to.
I think I know which one's which. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's have a look at this lock then. I've got my bag out.
All right, you move over to the hatch, and you're gonna make a let's see. One moment. You're going to make a. Yeah, you're gonna make a basic tech roll.
Basic tech?
Yep.
All right. That's 5 plus 17 is 22.
Tech is what you do. You sit down and you start kind of working at the panel, and in not too long, there's kind of this shink as the bars inside slam back, and the hatch moves.
Anyone got any explosives?
Fire
in the hole.
I'm getting my very heavy pistol ready. I'm like going up to the hole.
Big pistol.
Oh yeah, sorry.
We like to.
It's very heavy. I need 2 hands.
I always like to visualize the very heavy pistol as like Hellboy's handgun.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
That means nothing to me. I'm not gonna lie.
That happens, don't worry.
It's a huge, like that big.
Okay.
A big gun.
I'd like to try and poke my head in and just sort of like just get a quick just to get a quick peek.
You can roll stealth if you want.
Cool. That's 18.
You
Hold it.
poke your head down as. Luckily, it's a fairly new train. It doesn't creak a lot.
Amazing.
You poke your head down and are immediately blasted by her latest single.
Oh no.
Down in this train car, you see a few sort of crates, a few large metal crates that are locked shut, and two guys. One of them wearing sort of a standard sort of the uniform for a local small military, not military, security corp. Armored, but not heavily armored. The other, a bit more heavily armored, actually wearing what you'd guess is probably Kevlar, with a helmet, who is just.
Okay.
He's not currently holding his gun because he's just face palming.
Okay. I'd like to sort of just put my finger to my lips, like with the others.
You taking your head out first, because
Yes.
you might not see it.
Yeah, kind of like I sort of like shush. What I'd like to try and do is stealth my way down. I don't know if I'm going to just be immediately visible the minute I get on the ladder. I'd love to try and get down there and not necessarily right up to them, but in a position where I can just get the drop on one of them.
You could stealth down into the train.
Why don't I go first? Because one of them is a fan of mine.
You could stealth down into the area.
Mm-hmm.
There's a large container there. There is a sort of smaller container just off there. You can kind of squeeze into there.
Okay. Where would I be coming down?
You'd be coming down actually right in here. So you'd be visible for a little bit when you went past that.
Okay.
But then you'd be pretty much invisible to them.
Yeah, I'm going to give that a go.
All right, so you're going to roll stealth.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to see how this goes.
That's a 10.
That's 19 plus 9 is 28.
Like a panther, you slip down behind this big metal crate, and They seem none the wiser.
Amazing. Okay.
I'd like to go next.
Oh no.
All right.
Given your attempt at jumping.
Stealth is a different skill. Also, if she might be able to pull this off. One of them is her fan.
That's what I mean. Stealth. I don't think I have stealth, do I?
If you don't, you can roll with just your dexterity.
Okay. That's a 10. 17, and then my dexterity is 7.
Jeez.
Wow.
You managed.
24?
You managed to slip down next to Mover. As you're doing this,
I gave him a wink.
as you're doing this, you hear, "Fine, I'll listen to it in headphones. Does that make you feel better?"
That's bad.
Fucking infinitely.
Can I start playing the song? I'm gonna start playing the song they were just listening to. Roll.
It's gonna be play instrument.
Oh, that's a 10. That's 18. That's 29.
So
Oh
you
my God.
unsling your guitar and start playing just as the music like cut out as this dude put in headphones. And as you start playing it, it starts echoing throughout the train car. The guy goes, "Conroy, holy fuck!" And then he looks at Conroy, he's put in the headphones. What the? And he starts looking around this train car.
Shouldn't you take off a sixth for your score for the broken guitar string?
Yeah, it's gonna be slightly out of tune, but I would like to. No, I'm not gonna do that.
You're doing that at the moment.
Yeah, I'm
We're
gonna do
gonna
that
keep
at the moment.
moving.
Yeah.
Red Eye.
So the speakers are off, right?
The speakers are off. Yes.
Are they a network that I can access relatively easily? Are they just like a Bluetooth set of the equivalent?
Unfortunately, they are not on a network.
Okay.
If you want, you could actually use Scanner.
Yeah, could I use scanner, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So that's 6 plus interface, right? So
Yep.
13?
You know that right about here is a port for a local net on the train. Inside,
Ooh,
obviously.
spicy.
Oh, right, okay. So I can't access the speakers. That is...
Unfortunately, you cannot access his speakers.
Are the wireless headphones something I could access?
No, they are they are not wireless. They are actually wired.
Oh, gosh. Need to get with the future. Okay. I just kind of,
He
after
has to
scanning, I
untangle them a little bit.
give a disappointed kind of like, and just try and jump down the hole.
Oh Lord.
Is there any other entrance?
You're jumping down. Are you stealthing down?
Stealthing down,
Okay,
yeah.
stealth. One guard is already Damn, he loves your music. He is not paying attention to anything.
4 plus 13 for stealth, 17.
So you slip down, and you're kind of crammed in with Mover and 40,
Hey, pals! Hey!
and
God.
The-
She will not shut up.
you're kind of seeing this all go because you can see down into this.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm still holding it open, I guess.
hatch.
Yeah. With my cyber arm.
What do you want to do?
How? It's so the ladder, right?
Yeah.
It's
There's no ladder down here. This is just a hatch.
oh, okay, right. So the hatch is directly above where they are.
Yeah.
So
it's right there.
so for them, if the guards wanted to get through the hatch, they'd have to go through the rest of the party.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that doesn't work then. Well, unless you guys want to try and ambush.
No. I mean, we've kind of got one half set up already. Like, feels like
Well, if one guy's headphoned up,
this is meta as anything.
Is it?
It
I
feels
know
like.
what's going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No,
I
I just all right.
I
Go
can
carry
see
on.
through the hatch. I'm just thinking that if I started making noise up here on the roof, then that it would draw the attention of the guard who's trying to find out why the hell the music's still playing, and then potentially just get him into a position where you can just like Metal Gear Solid style grab him around the corner and you know.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, let's do that then. I'm gonna start making some noise.
Okay, you take
Banging my big nuts.
You're banging your big nuts. this guard is now totally on edge, and he moves over, and about this point, you guys are gonna roll stealth. We're gonna see how that goes.
Oh, it's not good. 9.
16.
11 for him. What do you got?
Oh, sorry.
Stealth.
It's 18.
Okay.
I was 9.
16.
Okay. So.
I mean,
you
I'm
are
playing
singing.
music, yeah, so
Yeah,
it's not very stealthy.
So he starts to come around the corner, and we're now going to roll initiative. So
Perfect.
everybody rolls. You're going to roll 1d10 plus your reflex. Oof. This guy.
15.
18 for
18
me.
also.
15 also.
Oh,
So
Wow.
you two are going to roll off, and you two are going to roll off. And he is dead last.
ooh, 14.
All right. Don't have to roll that one again. You
Okay,
can-
11. Yeah.
I got 3.
I got 4.
So that is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Looks like, yeah.
All right. Wow. Okay. So, as this guy is starting to come around the corner, we enter combat in full. He has got a what appears to be a shotgun, which he has in his hands. You are currently playing music. Do you want to continue doing that, or do you want to do something else?
I'm going to take my finger and whip him as he comes.
Oh yeah, you have a
you're
not
probably
your normal.
I
finger.
have I have a slice and dice thing, which is a monofilament wire mounted in my finger, which I can...
You're gonna have as melee weapon, so you're gonna have to move past Mount Mover if Mover will let you.
I will, yeah.
All right. So you just like duck past Mover. You pop off your finger and whip this monofilament wire out. You're going to roll a melee attack against him.
Oh, 10?
Oh.
5. Is it melee weapon?
It is melee weapon.
25.
Yes.
Wow.
You whip this guy just like across the sort of chest shoulder area with this monowire, which cuts into his armor. Melee weapons work differently than guns in general. Melee weapons attack twice in a turn, and they treat armor as half because
Okay.
the armor is generally designed to fight guns.
Okay.
So you're going to roll 2d6 for damage.
Okay. Oh, that's 2.
Okay. Two.
Two ones.
The first whip catches him off guard, but does not go through his armor. You can make a second attack.
Is it...
It's another melee weapon attack. My God,
15.
this guy, he is really caught off guard. You whip this guy again, and you're gonna make another roll. At least that's a 4.
Oh, yeah, 5.
All right.
It's a wire in my finger, all right?
Yeah, it's pretty badass. I'm not saying it isn't.
All right. You whip into this guy. You see it cut into his armor, and a bit of blood start to sort of ooze out through the armor. He is very surprised, shall we say?
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like, you don't know nothing about music, man.
You don't know nothing about. That's the best battle cry I've ever heard. You don't know nothing about music, man. Okay, Mover.
Okay, what am I gonna do?
Rivers sound.
Yeah, I think I don't wanna go loud, despite
Okay.
the fact we've just had a rocker boy.
Important thing to note. You have a number of unarmed attacks you can do. They're largely based on your body. You have unarmed attacks through brawling. Brawling does not affect people who are wearing armor.
Okay.
But it can do a lot of damage to people who aren't. You can also grab people, and after you've grabbed them, you can take your next action to either choke them, which does an amount of damage through their armor to them equal to your body, or you can throw them to the ground violently, which does damage and knocks them to the ground.
Okay.
Just keep in mind.
Yeah. I was thinking about kind of grappling this guy and trying to keep it quiet, but 40 seems out for blood, so I guess I'm just gonna go straight for the rippers in my cyber arm.
Okay. There's a shink and blades come out of your fingers, and you lunge out of the.
Oh, yeah, we're just leapfrogging each other.
You lunge. It's kind of tight confines, but luckily you can move past each other. You're all letting each other move past each other. You lunge out at this guy. You're going to make a melee attack.
That's 19.
Okay, that is going to succeed. You're going to roll 2d6.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. That is...
Five.
No, it's 5. This is a d6, Wills. There can't be a 7 on it.
No, I'm adding them together.
Oh,
Sorry. I thought that
that's a
was 4.
5. Oh, sorry, no.
And since you've previously done damage to his armor, it is 1 point lower, which
Okay.
means you're basically tearing this armor up. At 5 points, you get 3 points through his armor, and you have another attack.
Oh, yes, of course.
Melee
yeah.
weapons are really good for
Yeah.
tearing up armor.
That's 14.
Okay, that is gonna miss as he
Yeah.
kind of falls back, now having been sliced by these two people who just burst out of the burst out of the cargo. Okay, you are up.
Theoretically, I feel like the time for quiet has slightly slipped away.
Okay,
Theoretically, if I were just to sort of lean through the hole and blast my shotgun.
you could do that. You do note that the guy over there is not in line of sight, so he actually has not noticed any of this yet.
Okay, all right. Problem is, I'm sort of out of the way at the moment. So I would have to like swing into the already tight conditions and then bring out the big knucks.
I mean, it sounds like you just talked yourself into it.
Okay, all right. Okay, so
If you want to,
Can I do that in one action though?
I will let you, if you want, make an athletics roll to try and just Assassin's Creed this dude. Just land on him.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
It's almost like when you jumped onto the train, you were like, oh, that would be a cool attack, actually.
I should do that.
You flash back.
that is
A 9.
A 9.
It's pretty good.
And a 9 plus 7.
You steel yourself and you leap down through this hole as this guy is staggering back from the solo who's just torn through his chest, and you land on him.
I love the idea that like he walked into this little like weird little divot to find out where the sound was coming from, got slashed up, and he was like, no, I need to back up, and then just something crushes him into the ground.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
He is prone. You do have to make an attack roll. He is
Okay.
going to be at a disadvantage because he's prone.
Big knucks are a melee weapon, I'm
Yep.
assuming. Here we go then.
One of the bigger ones I've heard.
That's another 9 plus 8. So that's a 17.
And you squarely punch this guy. Roll 2d6.
Big knucks. That is 5, 6, 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. Oh boy. Okay. You get another attack. You can bring both of them down on him.
I started with the left.
I'm
Now
like,
comes the
I'm
right.
like, kill him! Kill him! He's got bad taste in
Kill him with
music.
his terrible opinions. That's a 7 plus 8, which is a number 15.
15, yeah.
Okay. 15 is gonna hit because he's prone.
Big knucks. That is a
Oh,
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus 3 is a 9.
Okay. You are just laying waste to this guy. He's coughing up blood as you are crunching into his chest cavity. And at that point, this guy like looks up and goes, Arnold, where'd you go?